captain from day one, is on the bench, Anton Smit. He is a law student who captained them against Rhinos in that tough fixture. The man in the middle today is JB and Jefter with the whistle in hand. He's handled some big matches in his past already. His future is indeed bright. And our TMO is Jemmy Pandey, who has been hard at work over the last 2 days. And we have a man who doesn't have a typical build for a fly-off about to take the kickoff. That's club rugby for you right there. We're underway in Saldanha Bay for match number 2 at the Saldanha Super 8.
Tack and release. Release. Last it. Stay on. Stay.
Multi-shore Evergreens faking the kick really and starting on the front foot there, just dancing on the touchline and stepping out into touch. Disappointing first day for Evergreen, scored only the 9 points. No tries to their name, but they were playing against the Rhinos, who are perhaps one of the favorites for this tournament.
No, that's all, gentlemen. Only giving the middle. Make sure you're on. Yep. Now play on.
Quality line out from Kruisfontein. Here is Domingo. Gets his hands away from that one wisely so. Elzane Walters picks up the pieces. Kruisfontein, the side in purple, sets the run. Jaden Draguner.
Use it.
Away to tight head prop Peterson.
Go left side.
Yeah. Evergreens, a couple of errors early on, not the way they would have wanted to start their second day.
It's good depth here. He's got options, but that pass got to do better than that. There wasn't enough pressure on him. I thought the angle on that plus, the option was on, coming from depth.
On the line,
but now we get to see.
Yep.
Well, it won't be a scrum. Actually, they did have the penalty advantage, so works out for Kruisfontein. And looking to take the points. They do have quite a breeze. We were talking about it before this fixture, Paul. How will that count for Kruisfontein? They'll want to take full advantage, especially in this first half. So it'll be interesting to see, do you go for touch because you should get the distance, or do you take the points on offer? Evergreens haven't scored any tries yet. Must take the points when on offer, especially looking for that W.
Domingo hits it flat with the wind at his back and knocks it over for the first points of the match for the big number 10. List is weighted 103. I think he's being modest.
Gotta love it. Look, you know, when he's in that position, it's because he is dripping in skill. Can't wait to see them play some phases.
Masikola Banda. So much experience behind his name. Goes long with the restart. Kruisfontein take it in and run it back at Evergreens. Looking to change their fortunes here today on day 2. Under pressure, Darren Domingo, the teacher, sends it long. Plenty of time for Evergreens to consider their options. They have players in support for the counter-attack. Opt to kick into the wind. The breeze holds up the kick a bit and forces the error from Heinrich Reuters.
Just a knock on.
Yeah, that's the thing about the breeze. You might have it behind you, but it makes it quite difficult to adjust. Look at that. He's adjusting backwards, and then all of a sudden the wind just pushes it away from him, away from the breadbasket. Challenging under the high ball in these conditions. This is what I'm looking forward to. The arm wrestle, the big boys. First scrum here. Evergreens will have a weight advantage. I mean, giant Mkanda, almost 150 kilos, 204 centimeters tall. And well, I'm not sure those pack weights can be right.
Told you to get closer to the mark, use the mark, yep.
Over the 800 kilogram mark at least, Evergreens. We get to see Julian Tienrecht. His name, Krachenwater. Some awesome nicknames on the pitch.
Krachenwater number 1, no doubt.
Let's go, gentlemen. It's the first one. Get closer. You're too far. Get closer.
Some serious beef behind the front row, Evergreens, and some beef in the front row as well. Godwin Mangenje moving from the loose forwards into lock today.
Gentlemen, crouch. Bind. Sit. Steady. Let's go.
Referee Jefter calls the scrum. Penalty, Kruisfontein. That'll be frustrating. The tap and go from Drachunder, who played fullback in their opening match. Kruisfontein. Now the wind carrying that kick downfield, far too far over the dead ball line.
Options.
Something they do so well, Kruisfontein. They had 9 out of 9 scrums in their first fixture. Good with their set piece at 80% with the lineouts as well, 8 out of 10. Those handling errors would have cost them in the game 1 with 8 handling errors. They're good with their discipline as well.
Yep.
So although Evergreens have got a lot of power, it's not named Krachenwater for nothing. The number 3 for Evergreens, 300.
Gents, we're 15 seconds to set it up. Let's get quicker.
And they only got 8 out of 11 scrums. So Kruisfontein with an early advantage here. Evergreens will want to make it work and adjust very quickly.
Bind. Sit.
Scrum feed from Dalen Morse. Another penalty to Kruisfontein. So all those heavyweights in the Evergreen scrum traveling backwards to start the match.
Yep, that's Prabin Manuel. Damons and Sheldon Peterson, the front row. Great work on that far side,
Yep, number
especially.
one.
You look at Manuel handling Krachenwater's power. Great secondary shove there as well. That's beautiful technique. Giving the referee no choice. That's 2 scrums, 2 penalties for Kruisfontein.
Hulle die nou miskien nie vir my nie, my maat.
Justin Damons feeds the line out, well taken in by Kruisfontein.
Nou,
They've got the
Who's
first
it
3
once?
points on the board. Can they add the first 5
No,
points?
no.
in? Damon's in control, but that rolling
No
ball
more.
not in control. Evergreens dismantling the protection in front of the hooker, cleared away by Drachunder. Good strong run
No
from
more, Rap.
Mankodidi.
leave the 9.
Drachunder. Away this time to
No more, let it
hard
go.
running lock
Let it
forward.
go. Stay.
Drachunder gets it away. They were running out of numbers in defense
2
on the left
knockouts.
there, Evergreens, but the
First
mistakes
one.
that are peppering this match
Second
early
one.
on are defining it for the time being.
Scrum, come on, gentlemen.
So, for the Evergreens, whenever there's a scrum, it is not looking good for them. They're unable to handle the pressure from that secondary shove. And it takes so much technique to be able to execute that. So congratulations to Kruisfontein and the Evergreens. They need to be able to come up with coping mechanisms. That's a good result for them, and they'll want to take it quickly here.
Take it quickly, they do. The tap and go from Sesson and Makala, the sensational number 8, cuts them open. Makala's got some space to work with. The pass comes too early, surely, but into the opposition's 22 they go. Quick ball presented for Dalen Morse. An offsides advantage as well for Evergreens. What a chance. Well done to feed that one away. No support present for the ball carrier. Cummings with the pickup, Morse with the clearance, Banda with the pass over the top. It goes bouncing but finds Mahuana. And on the outside is Willemse cutting back in field. Approaching the 5-meter line. In a couple of phases play, they've made a big dent in the Kruisfontein defense. A man in motion, well brought to ground. Morse waiting now, slower ball, another advantage against Kruisfontein. The infringement's coming thick and fast now as the pressure's on. Morse digs in, gets it free. It's time for the big boys to have a go.
Release now. No hands.
Joseph stopped short. Kruisfontein hindering the progress of that ball in many ways. Spinning out of contact. Under the Yankees can't make it. Morse clears. Trienacht shut down. Hunting it on the ground, Mankodidi unsuccessfully. Evergreens with chance after chance and a penalty advantage as well. Banda moves it quickly. Road as well marshaled. In over the ball, Drachunder.
No hands.
Dragged away by Evergreens. Morse off the Banda. Oh my goodness.
Oh man, Sheldon Peterson. My goodness, licking his lips for that one there, putting pressure.
Take it away.
always go for the tap and go. Evergreens searching for that first try.
Morris clears quickly, head down and power forward from Malcolm Joseph.
Shot!
Time after time, Kruisfontein just holding on. Reuters sends it. Godwin Mangenja stopped short of the line. Numbers out to the right for Evergreens. Scrappy, knock on, scrum to Kruisfontein.
Yeah, frustrations from one of the most experienced players in the side, Giant Mkanda. He knows how close they were here. One of the best standards of play in the tournament so far for the Evergreens. Building phases really nicely, keeping it tight, and then using the backs when the Kruisfontein wall of defense is in place and waiting for them when they've done their job. Just needed a little more patience. Feel the forwards were just too involved at the base of the ruck. Get the scrum half involved, Moors. But strong defense from Kruisfontein. Worked really hard off the ball to get the pillars in place. Stop the heavyweights from trying to get close. Malcolm Joseph got the closest there, the 23-year-old, but access denied to the try line. Good defense, Kruisfontein.
It's like Makala who's down getting some treatment. What a run he went on.
Hey, what a player. What a player. Just explosive off the mark. He's got deceptive pace. Makala, never mind that fend of his. Look out for the big number 8. Maybe he's a threat from the base of the scrum. If this was Evergreen's ball, I don't think we'd be surprised to see him pick and go, come around the corner.
Point!
Started on the bench in day 1, starting in the number 8 jersey on day 2. It looks like he's got a tender ankle on him now as well.
Stay down.
Kruisfontein under pressure this time. It's scrum time, but they respond in kind. What a scrum from the boys in purple, making a meal of the Evergreens opposition. And that heavyweight tight 5.
Stop playing penalty advantage.
Jaden Drachhunder plays away. Giant Mchanda, the captain of his side today,
Have to release him.
there to bring that to a halt. That massive frame of his. Drachhunder sends it to his captain. Mankodidi sets the rack, away it goes. Cutting back in field is Elzane Walters, improvising well, the youngster.
Still playing penalty advantage.
Heinrich Reuters.
Vanish over.
Penalty advantage over as the clearing kick comes from Benjamin.
Oh, they need to fall back here. Gates are wide open.
Quickly played by Kruisfontein through the hands of Drachhunder. They have men in motion.
Not dealt.
Played away to Mankodidi.
No hands. No hands. Let it go.
In the blink of an eye, Kruisfontein on the front foot.
Take a release.
But Evergreens get back in position and make their hits. Elzane Walters corkscrewing in the challenge. No meters made. Drachhunder. Quick ball, a drop goal attempt coming from Darren Domingo. Didn't get his body shape right, but the wind may have assisted him. It goes drifting off to the right, though.
All smiles. To be a player at the Saldanha Super 8 Rugby Festival, something else. Oibanda. It's what I'm really enjoying about this festival. A lot of players, it's their dream to be involved here. The entertainment, the fans.
Don't jump over.
It's just a vibe and a half.
Banda. Just look how the wind holds that one up. Dwayne Swartz takes it in for Kruisfontein. Swartz, the petrol attendant, is brought to ground. Drachhunder. Wonderful take on the run from the flanker, Kerwin Felix. Inside ball as well to Drachhunder. Drachhunder with the chip and chase. He's got the lead, but he's been cut off there. The wind carrying it over the dead ball line. Drachhunder could not catch up.
Oh, don't you just hate it when that happens? I thought that was really clever, and to be able to execute those skills, loving it in the stands, why not? Almost getting there, Kruisfontein. And 2 visits to the opponent's 22. Almost capitalizing here through Drachhunder. Lovely chip and chase, beats his opposite number. I think he's beating Maitana to the ball. They're good cross covering by the outside backs of Evergreens, but dead ball line wins the race. He's been excellent. Prabin Manuel, the loose head prop for Kruisfontein. Just take a look at how he works in tandem with Sheldon Peterson on the close side.
Crouch. Right. Set. Hold.
Pure domination from Kruisfontein thus far at scrum time, and she looks to continue just applying the pressure to Evergreens. Matala with the pick and go. He loves to run. Here comes Matala. He's got options left and right. The offload is at the perfect time to Smith. Smith cuts back in field, approaching the 22-meter line. Tackle from Jose Kettledas. Pressure at the breakdown. Numbers out to the left. Goes Banda to Giant Mchanda. Hands from Mangenge. Wider it goes to Mahwana. And the cover defense from Kruisfontein shutting down the options for Evergreens. The ball's still alive though. What a movement from the team in green. The green machine. Francois Cummings brought to ground. Banda with the quick hands. Another big hit from Kruisfontein. It's still alive. Mangenge sends it the opposite direction. And here is Yankees. Yankees beats the first but not the second. Solomon Mankodidi laying down the law. Penalty to Kruisfontein. And Evergreen just can't convert their chances.
I'm never the mark, buddy. I'm never the mark.
Yeah, incredible defense. What a hustle from Kruisfontein on defense. There's a lot of aggression in the hits, even though Evergreens are keeping the ball alive. Good fitness, great awareness from Kruisfontein. I mean, when you've got players with nicknames like Bosvark and Sodir Boat, which means soldering iron, it shows now. It shows. That's why.
I don't know what soldering iron shows. You're going to have to teach me that.
I'll take a look at this. Here we go. Koibanda's under a lot of pressure. They're trying to keep the ball alive. There's hits coming in left, right, and center. It's fantastic discipline as well defensively to be able to hold your line and time coming off the line with that defensive press. Working beautifully for Kruisfontein.
Bosvark makes more sense to me.
That's Wade Steelman.
Great line out, rising high to receive as Mankodidi. He's been everywhere early on. Darren Domingo looking to unleash his back line. Good feet from Charles Gouda, one of the try scorers on day one. In that narrow loss that they suffered, the Kruisfontein against Blanco United. 11 points between the sides in the end, and Blanco, as a result, will be taking on the Rhinos in the final game of day 2. Had a thought about it there. Drachonde, he saw the gap close, thought again, moving it wide. Danny Benjamin, the grabber through this time may well be well measured. Oh, it's just about gone over the try line and out over the dead ball line in the end.
Yeah, they're hanging on by a thread. That back three has to come up for Evergreens, and because they're kicking the ball flat on the defensive line, Kruisfontein almost works out here. Excellent play, Danny Benjamin. Grabbing it through, identifying the space, and again, unlucky. Centimeters in it. Actually got a pretty good game here. Both sides quite evenly matched. Can see Kruisfontein with that slight advantage with their set piece. Can they apply pressure? Crab and Manuel, the loose head, on fire.
Better than Moore's feeds, much better from Evergreens. This time it's Manuel under pressure. Goes collapsing, Matala gets it away, 2 Moors. The blind is very narrow for Evergreens. They turn to the boot. Drachonde field. Charge down from Evergreens. If they get the toe on this, trouble they can't. Ronaldo Willemse kept away from it by Drachonde, who gets his offload away in a dreamy way to Kettledas. Kettledas has cut them open! The dancing feet of the left winger, and Kettledas dots down for the first try of the match.
Yeah, they love it. They love tries. Kruisfontein, they've already scored 4 tries in the tournament. That's Kettledas' first one, Jose Kettledas. And it's an excellent identification of space. That's what's so good here. He is nippy, he's smart. Jaren Trachuna, classic number 9 play. Gets the loose ball, he's got awareness and support. Defense needs to be a little bit better here from fullback Curtly Smith. But Kettledas, a little bit of a shimmy, a little bit of a shake. No one in front of him. It is a transition play. He's finished it nicely.
Kruisfontein extended the
20 to go.
side that made their debut
15.
in the prestigious Gold Cup in 2024. So it's a side on the rise. The 2024 Grand Challenge champions as well. Darren Domingo, the big number 10. Slides it home with the wind assist. It's 10 points to 0.
And you'd like to think they deserve that for the kind of defense they've had. There's Dragoner picking up the loose ball, quickest to react gets the reward. And then Kettledas right on his shoulder. That's fantastic. Electricity in that right leg is what does it. Fullback, no one back. It was a transition play. Lovely finish.
Himansdorp, born and raised, attended Himansdorp High as well. He's the son of the soil and enjoying his time here in Saldanha Bay this weekend.
Who isn't enjoying their time out here
It's a
this
beautiful
weekend?
place.
Oh, what entertainment. I love it.
Dragoner is doing what he wants out there. Stepping on the spot. Big hit from Evergreens, making their presence felt. And Melvin Klaasen, who looks to have come off the bench.
He needs to get away first before he can attempt for the ball.
And that's what you don't want if you're an Evergreens coach or one of the players here now. Is krach en water. Trainer. But discipline, you don't want it to cost you, especially when in the right area of the pitch. Now you have to come all the way back into your 22. With Kruisfontein's defense not going nicely for Evergreens.
Taking it back to the line, Kurtley Smith.
Step. Hold.
Did not feature for Evergreens in their opening match. Smith getting his chance today. Banda running the show from the 10 position. Evergreens playing in their own half, but they may just find a gap here. Giant and Chanda taking them on. Hard to bring down. Steals with a couple.
Good tapping now. There's the ball. Can they stop shouting?
Moose away to Banda. Short ball to Malcolm Joseph.
No more, no more.
Making the meters, but making them slowly for the time being.
Let it go now,
Under
no
the
hands.
Yankees, the construction worker.
Just step. Hold.
Away by Rhodes, stepping in at halfback.
Release
One by
seven,
one, they're going
seven.
Evergreens, and now they find
Hands,
themselves
go
in
away,
trouble.
seven.
Captain of the side, Mantlodidi, called away from the ball by referee Jefter, just not there quick enough, then losing his feet. But Evergreens were fully exposed just for a moment.
Like that again, you're going as simple as that.
A bit of chit-chat, you
Just
got to
go.
cut that out early as the referee.
I mean, you did hear him during the phase play there saying, stop
Yes,
shouting.
Jamal.
We've had a good game so far. I think the discipline has been pretty good from the
Make sure
players.
you're 10, please. Hey, Stan, kom nou alsjeblieft.
No nonsense, Mr. Jefter, the referee.
So important to keep control of things as a club rugby referee as well. If you give them an inch, they'll take a mile.
For sure. What a player. They've got some Eastern Province legends, actually. Koi Banda, Maskole Banda, Giant Mkanda, guys who played at the highest level. Mkanda played at the Sharks, played Super Rugby.
Closer. Evergreens closer.
Played for the EP Kings as well. It's great to see that intellectual
Side man in the
property
line out.
adding
Side
value
man.
to the
One
multi-show
out.
Pakoutsdorp Evergreens.
And Chandler getting involved in the lifting this time of Godwin Mangenje, a great lock pairing for multi-shore Evergreens, who now roll them all forward. Kruisfontein showing some resistance for the time being, but here come the Evergreens around the corner, and a penalty advantage their way as well.
Get out the swimming.
If they control this ball, they could have another surge for the line with the same maul. Kruisfontein getting desperate now, coming in from the side. The ball is presented 5 meters out, played away by Dathan Moores to Banda, great line from Road.
Away, no.
Cut down. Moores, slow ball for Banda. Gets it free now, tries to find Mahwana. Just didn't work out, and Willemse is brought down well behind the gain line. Good ball protection. Moores clears. All the players out to the left, but most of them standing in front of their fly half Banda. And now improvisation will be key.
Away.
Great run.
No hands.
Look like Reuters. It's painfully slow ball that for Dalen Morse, who gets it away to Joseph. Good hands from the front ranker, trying to work something on the outside through their flank Yankees.
No hands, 79.
Morse. The ball recycling from Evergreen's just not fast enough. Looks like they're running out of energy almost. Now charging forward is Stefans. Loose at the back, towed through, back for that penalty advantage.
It has a sapping effect in terms of energy, Paul. You're right. They are looking a little bit tired when they get to that 10th phase, but that's what Kruisfontein's doing so well. They're holding them and forcing them to build those phases. I think with the Evergreens, perhaps give your forwards a rest, get the backline involved. The backs need to clean, allow the forwards to get into shape so that they're not having to fold too much. You saw Krach and Water wasn't even keen to catch that ball from the scrummy. So take care of your forwards, build the phases with them, yes, but use your backline to try and expose the wider channels.
Cummings feeds. Mangenja takes untidy delivery to the back, and forward comes Malcolm Joseph. Great run from the number one, who's been full of energy in the first half. Evergreens right on the precipice right now, short of the line, so not held up. They can have another go. Dathan Morse frees it to the giant. Chanda short of the line. Recycled again. Morse looks keen to play this blind side, which is narrowing oh so quickly. Got plenty of forwards in attendance now. He gets it away. Julian Trenacht is loaded and ready to go. The tight head prop gets it flat-footed, however. Gets knocked backwards and sideways by Kruisfontein. Gets his knees to ground. They almost take his jersey off of him. Giant Chanda. Hand on the ball, pick and go. Tried to get over the speed bump, could not. Phase after phase for Evergreens. Great control. Mangenja, the Zimbabwean national, reaching for the line. We're going upstairs.
Just keep
man.
quiet and let me handle the situation. Just move away. Buddy, I'm not a medic.
It's really close. Still in search for their first try of the tournament, the Evergreens.
One field decision is a try. I believe it was short, and they didn't want to go with it. This is legal in the jet check try in the time, please.
Great hold on with me.
Believes he saw it. Referee Jefter. We're going to see if it can be confirmed by our TMO today, Jamie Pandey. Godwin Mangenja said it's Zim National. He's a Zim International, having played for the Sables. Well, what do you think of that, Fudge? Looks like he got good downward pressure. Was it over the line, I suppose, is the question.
Yeah, so he is allowed to reach and place the ball here. Tries to go any route to the try line. He's going between the legs there. Godwin Mangenja, professional athlete. He's been really busy, showing a good high level of fitness. Deserves a try here, but it does look like it's down. It does look like the control is good here as well. This is what will come down to here. Still control with that left arm. Yeah, I think that's good, Paul.
Looks good from Mangenja. Let's see what the TMO thinks here at the Transnet Saldanha Stadium.
Xavier, it's a try. It was short and he replaced the ball and it's try.
So my award a try, thanks. Try stance.
Referee Javian Jefter, he's got the word. He gives the try, and Evergreens score their first try of the weekend.
Yep, Godwin Mangenja went to Prince Edward High School in Zimbabwe, known for its rugby players. He's been busy. He's been working really hard, the 28-year-old Godwin Mangenja. Took some hard work, a little bit of sneakiness as well to get nice and low, to try and get those extra meters, centimeters. Shouldn't be too difficult. The conversion's good. So Evergreen, 7 points. We've got a good game here on our hands.
That we do. Godwin Mangenja has been working hard, just like Giant Chanda. Putting them together in the lock seems to be wise. Thought it would give them more impetus at scrum time, but they are finding some balance in the scrum.
Yeah, great reaction from Vata, Julian Trenacht and Joseph to be able to just handle the pressure coming from Peterson and Prabin, Manuel. Have done well to get those points in. 3 points separating the sides. Game on.
Taken in by Chanda. Doesn't have to jump to collect those ones. He's got the height advantage on most people on the field anytime he takes to the field. Played away by Morse. Mangenja with the pass just before contact. No look from Leogan Stephans.
No, you duck, no, hands! Number 14, you duck!
Kruisfontein taking their hands away from the ball, and wisely so. Banda sends one high. The wind holds it up. It's fooling everyone. Banda's got his hands back on it. And Evergreens retain possession for the time being. Kruisfontein powering through that ruck, unsuccessful in forcing the turnover. And Chanda occupies defenders and sends it wide. Here's Yankees who sends it further. And back in field comes Ronaldo Willemse with the cross cover coming full steam. Willemse has found a seam and he's cut them straight down the center. Manklodidi couldn't bring him down, but Kruisfontein eventually do beyond their own 10-meter line. Banda trying to set them free on the outside. Here comes Stefans. Once again involved is Stefans. He's been hard at work for the green machine in this first half. Pick and go from Cummings. Thought he saw something to take advantage of. Brought down by Kerwin Felix. Morse who plays it away. Here's Joseph in the midfield. He's popping up absolutely everywhere. A centre born in a prop's body. Morse to Banda. The knock-on comes. And Kruisfontein capitalise. Drachunde gets it away under pressure. Looking to clear their lines by hook or by crook. What a kick that is. Using the breeze to his advantage. The bounce is kind for Ronaldo Willemse. And Willemse is all on his own here. He's going to have to do well. Willemse taking them on. Reiter's watching him, brings him down, hunting the ball on the ground. Danny Benjamin. And the turnover's good from Kruisfontein. Rolling the dice there, the Evergreens, and Ronaldo Willemse paying the price. Over the top it goes from Charles Kruta. Kruta is hoping for some chases on the outside. The kick goes too long. And it goes over the dead ball line. In the end, 10 minutes to play in the first half.
Yeah, the game is opening up now. Lactic acid is built up in the legs. There's a lot of space out there on the pitch. Their defense is just so good, Kruisfontein. I thought the Evergreens were looking like they were gaining good momentum. It all started with Ronaldo Willemse. Got into the 22 after that up and under. Maybe that's the strategy here for the Evergreens. To kick it a little bit far, the wind will hold it up. And it's a family day, Easter weekend. South Africans love it. The old, the young, it's all about women's sport, and there we go. Look at that, all love.
He's staying in Langebaan, and it is a family haven down there. Families with dogs especially, which I appreciate. Some golden retrievers running around on the beach along with the kids.
The place called Strandloper Restaurant.
Oh yeah.
World class.
Sit, steady, no movement.
The scrum feed to come from Dalen Morse. The pressure being responded to by Evergreens, and they're turning it around, applying it onto Kruisfontein now. That tight five finally paying dividends. What a first half Makala has had. Banda keeping them occupied. Banda's taking them on. Up to the 10-meter line now, growing in confidence, the green machine. Wonderful pass from Moores to the giant. Oh, almost dummied the tackle. And it was very effective. That's my move there.
You get a giant. You know, he's quite a gregarious character as well, Giant Mkanda. That was sneaky. That was clever, Heinrich Reiters. That's how to handle a big steamroller coming your way.
Let's keep it simple.
I gotta love it. And here it is, look at that. Oh, that is clever. Like a matador. The bull falls for it, Giant Mkanda.
Two former Eastern Province Currie Cup First Division representatives there. Danny Benjamin, the 13 for Kruisfontein, and Giant Mchanda for Evergreen, so he knew exactly what he was doing. Line-out feed from Francois Cummings. Damon Morse sends it to his backline. Curtly Smith at first receiver. Corkscrewing into contact. It's Andre Yankees. Here's Mchanda again. Banda. So set play from Evergreens. Had their 15 playing 10 for the first movement, and Banda in at fly half before the second, trying to exploit that blind side. Here's Morse. Once more, it's Malcolm Joseph with the offload. Dalen Morse looking before he arrived at the rack to try to get the options. Penalty comes to Evergreens. They are growing in confidence, growing in quality, and showing their class here in the first half.
An interesting call there from Dalen Morse, scrum up for the Evergreens, not wanting to take it quickly, backing their line out. Obviously, it is a tool of theirs. 7 penalties conceded. It's been a better first half, discipline-wise and defensively from Kruisfontein. There he is.
Can you just get on the line,
Shouldering
back line?
iron. Solomon Mangodidi there.
On the goal line. On the goal line.
just not keeping their feet in the ruck.
Oh, over the top. Krach en water. Saw it slip through his fingers like a cup of water.
That's tricky now. He's going to have to dig deep in the last 5 minutes. We've seen a lot of rugby, both sides attacking 10 phases, getting into the 22, losing the ball, and then immediately having to transition into defense. It's been quite a tiring first half, although we've only seen a couple of tries. One each.
Crouch.
Big scrum here now for Evergreens. Can they get it back?
Boy. Sit.
Brachwender feeds, penalty given by referee Jefter.
Yeah, that's Malcolm Joseph just hinging, elbow facing the ground. That's the call from Jefter. Had a few issues. Multi-shore, Pakhaltsdorp, Evergreens, and Kruisfontein get another penalty. That's their third scrummaging penalty in this first half, and it gets them out of jail. It's a get-out-of-jail-free card, that easy exit for Kruisfontein. They have had the opportunities, just unable to capitalize in these areas, and there it is. Clear option. Never really supporting his weight. Needs to keep his elbow up, try to support and push his chest out. Going straight to ground, not good enough.
Justin Damons feeds the line out. Giant Mchanda casually slaps it back onto the side of Evergreens, and they have another chance to attack in the final 5 minutes of the first half. Spread by Machuana to the outside, brought down Juan Roscoe Reiters.
Away step.
Morse. He's been looking for quicker ball, and he's been getting it in the second half of this first half. Here's Manganje, try scorer for Evergreens.
Let it go.
Morse. Mchanda at first receiver, often in the first half. Makala with the goose step, inside ball to Joseph. Joseph gets punished.
Let it go.
Yeah, Makala saying, hey mate, take contact for me there quickly.
As they call it, a hospital pass from the number 8. Inside ball to Sasona Makala. And here's Curtly Smith. Crash ball from Linden Road. Evergreens taking control.
No.
As the clock is ticked on. Manganje in possession again. Very effective on the carry today. Dalen Morse. Cummings holding it up, and another big tackle from Kruisfontein. They've stayed committed in defense. Turnover is good, and now they have a chance. Brachwender sent it over the top, and just look at it fly in the wind here at Saldanha Bay. But as he controlled it, because again it's bouncing end over end towards the try line. Easy meet for Evergreens. The green machine dot down.
So he can take it quickly here if he pushes the ball to the left. He's got some numbers out there. There it is. One or two more passes, 3 players on one. Just scuttled us out there for Kruisfontein, and again I think just not being up to try and increase the tempo and take advantage of Kruisfontein reloading that defensive line.
Banda did not account for the pressure from Kruisfontein. 22-meter dropout charged down. They have to hustle to keep control of the ball through Francois Cummings. And Chanda with the offer. Oh, man.
Not the intention of catching the ball, so just enough off.
Almost snatching that one away, Mitchell Clark. It's going to be a scrum to the Evergreens.
Mitchell Clark. Big and strong. And Kruisfontein will be backing themselves here. Less than 2 minutes on the clock, just outside the Evergreens 22, and it's a scrum. Although it's Evergreens ball, Kruisfontein will be licking their lips saying, look, we can really make it difficult for them running into the cloaks if we can get one back here.
Dalen Morse played Varsity Cup sevens once upon a time. Kruisfontein finding their power at scrum again. It's a heel against the head. Brachwender drags in the defender, sent it to Domingo. Wider it goes now to Benjamin. Benjamin! He's in for a second time this Easter weekend.
Danny Benjamin, he's done really well the outside center there. He's light, but he's fleet-footed as well. Just a little bit of a step. Great passing here from Krachwender. Fly flick of the wrist nicely, and that step there, that's what does it for Danny Benjamin. EP First Division in the Currie Cup 4 years ago, showing his experience. That's what it's all about. And that's a forward try right there. Kruisfontein, Pack getting that ball back against the shoulder. Scrummaging has really given them a huge advantage in this first half.
The conversion comes from Darren Domingo, the teacher laying down the lessons to multi-shore Evergreens today. And here is the try from another former EP Elephants. Oh, the step from Danny Benjamin, too much to handle, and the outside center gets another try for the faithful of Kruisfontein. Himansdorp, stand up. So one last kickoff from Evergreens. You might have heard the faint sound of the hooter in the background. Manganja takes it in. It's an absolutely brilliant kickoff routine from the green machine. Here's Joseph, tireless in the first half. That's surely a penalty. The attempted interception might have stronger penalties than just the penalty indeed. The yellow card is coming out. What a way to end the first half. Down to 14, Kruisfontein. And the kick to touch. One last chance for Evergreens to shut down this first half. So the yellow card going to Kerwin Felix, who works in fire and rescue out in the Eastern Cape. Line out to Evergreens. Fed in by Francois Cummings. And now they set the rolling maul. And the green machine will look to churn forward against Kruisfontein. They've been effective with this tool in the past already in the first half. Haven't got a try on the back of it, but ought to have. They've got a penalty advantage out of it. Look at the formation here. They've got a strong tail and a stronger conglomeration of players right at the center of this. They power fast. The next wave of resistance. McCullough's got the ball in hand. The green machine going for the line. What a tackle in the end, keeping them out from Charles Huda. Morse moves it. Strong defense from Kruisfontein as it's been all half long. We're going back for that penalty advantage against Solomon Mankodidi, the captain, seeing that he had to infringe to stop that momentum. How impressive is that rolling maul?
It's clearly you, the captain.
It's that massive front row they have, including Trenacht, weighing in at 149 kgs. Krachenwater, chief among those, but Giant Mchanda not far behind at 146 kilograms as a lock, and then Godwin Manganja, who's already scored a try. He's a heavyweight as well, as is Malcolm Joseph. He's doing plenty of running in this first half. Haven't been so effective at scrum time, but that rolling maul looks irresistible. Cummings, Manganja. They do not have the time to construct it in the way they did last time, and no rolling maul will come from the multi-shore Evergreens, who must now go for the line with ball in hand. The pick and go surely coming, and it starts with Julian Trenacht. Stop short, well presented. Dalen Morse gets it free, it's sent it to Rode. Rode looking to spin out of the tackles.
Leave the 9.
Leopard crawling out of there, fly off Darren Domingo. Slow ball for Evergreens, but they go again 5 meters out. Giant Mchanda calling for some support. He gets it, and now they move towards the line, centimeter by centimeter. Dalen Morse gets it free, sends it to Courtney Smith with the dancing feet. That's what they need. Over the line, the multi-shore Evergreens drag back 5 points, and they could make it 7. The side from SWD put 5 points on the board. You drag them in with the forwards, but you can dazzle them with the back line. They set the ruck. Morse delayed the pass, got it away to his fullback, who cut inside, and the big timber just couldn't keep track of him. Courtney Smith getting over for the try. As they love to say, the Evergreens, die plan gaan aan. So In spite of their difficulties, they've continued towards their goal, and Banda into the wind cannot convert. But it is a 5-point game as we head to the half-time break. What a turnaround from the Evergreens, who are under tremendous pressure to start things off. It was Kruisfontein making all the play, the side from the Eastern Cape. But in the end, the Evergreens found their way into the match, planted their feet and powered forward. That scrum of theirs they need to use to their fullest effect here today to get that advantage, which they have found. They've found that advantage in the rolling mauls when they've had the chance to set them. But with the wind at their back, perhaps they can find the corner more often with the accuracy of the likes of Masikole Banda and those in the back line. Set some more lineouts for themselves and get some more tries. It's an interesting contest here in the second day of day 2 in Saldanha Bay. Kruisfontein lead 17-12. Saldanha Super 8 Easter Rugby Festival is underway for its second day, and in Game 2, Kruisfontein leads 17 points to 12 over Evergreens. So, let's take a look at the highlights from the first half of this match. It was Kruisfontein early on. That grubber through, no good. Drachunde looking to go long with the kick. Look what he does with his body here. Making space, picking up the ball, creating the opportunity, keeping it in hand, finding support, and then the hot steps come. Bang, bang, bang. 3 players gone all the way through from Jose Keteldas. The Heemansdorp, born and raised winger, dots down over the line and dives just for show. Drachunde, he's been brilliant in the first half, really moves the ball around quickly. Another player born in Heemansdorp and representing the proud club of Kruisfontein that hails from the Eastern Cape. Great try for the winger Keteldas. Then it was the chance of Evergreens to get their first try of the weekend after only scoring 9 points in their first match. Look at the power from the Zim Sable. Godwin Manganje reaching out and dotting down for the first try for the Green Machine here in Saldanha Bay this Easter weekend. Got to ground there, has the chance to reach. Now you see his own forearm underneath the ball. Nobody's stopping him there, and then he completes the reach and it's over the line. Referee Jefter signaling the try. And Kruisfontein just towards the end of the half got themselves a second, popped over the top from Domingo, and then the step from Danny Benjamin. Danny cool, dotting down for the team in purple. strong frame of Darren Domingo dragging in those defenders, but it was because it was a heel against the head that Evergreens gave away possession at scrum time, which they should not be doing with the quality of the tight five that they have. And then the defensive line was not set as a result of that, staggered, and was capitalized upon by Kruisfontein. But Evergreens were not done. A yellow card against Kruisfontein's flank, Kerwin Felix, making the opportunity for Evergreens to have one last go at the try line. Curtly Smith cutting back in field and getting the second try for the Green Machine. 93 years of history for the Evergreens of Southwestern Districts represented here on the Bay today. Let's take a look at the numbers from the first half. 11 turnovers conceded by Evergreens, 6 for Kruisfontein, but Evergreens not protecting the ball at the breakdown there. The amount of tackles they forced Kruisfontein in spite of that, 67. It's unbelievable how much possession and how much attacking threat they've had. Let's see how the second half plays out. But first, Fudge is down on the field.
Thank you, Paul. We are with Executive Director and CEO of Alway, Mr. Joe Dow, one of the major sponsors of the tournament here at the Super 8 Saldanha Easter Rugby Festival. Tata, tell us a little bit about your involvement.
We are African Blue Sky Investments, trading as Alway. We are one of the major sponsors, the very first one this year, which is the 6th time this tournament is happening, and we are very proud to be part of this occasion. Very big rugby in the Western Cape, particularly in the Boland. Who wouldn't want to be associated with such an event, especially with SuperSport broadcasting it worldwide? So we are really appreciative of what that has happened. We're building the communities here around this place by making sure every school child is dressed by us, and every sportsman on the ground is dressed by us, and we are very proud. We do workwear, we do corporate clothing, we do a lot of things, except for caps and the shoes. The rest is ours.
So you were dancing and singing before this, a huge tournament for the community around. Can you tell us a little bit about the impact that Alway has, and especially this tournament?
Important is that Saldanha is in the West Coast, always classified as a small town where nothing much happens. The trouble is there are surrounding towns that must come here, and the place is growing. We would want to be part of that growth in building the communities around here.
100%. It's all about the rugby. Thank you so much, Mr. Dow. Please do join us after the break. Second half coming up.
What a beautiful day down at the Bay. It is halftime in match number 2 of day number 2 of the Saldanha Super 8 Easter Rugby Festival. There's your scoreline. Kruisfontein, who hail from the Eastern Province, taking on Evergreens and leading by 5 points. 2 tries apiece. Evergreens scoring to close out the half. Kruisfontein also scoring to close out the half. But Evergreens got one last chance. And then some irresponsibility from Kerwin Felix, seeing his way to the sin bin for the team in purple. Let's see if Evergreens can capitalize on the man advantage and the fact that they have a strong wind at their back. Masikole Banda hangs one high to get us back underway. Taken in by Manko Didi. Hard carrying captain of Kruisfontein. Takes it forward, sets the ruck, and Drachunde sets it free. Kruisfontein carrying it forward once before executing their clearance through Darren Domingo, kicking into the wind in the second half and kicking very well to begin things. Curtly Smith, our latest try scorer, keeps it in field and finds his wing, Reuters. Shut down in a big tackle from Dwayne Swartz. And now Evergreens working the blind through Marjuana. Here's Smith. Smith back in field. Great play from Evergreens to start the second half. Cummings down to ground. Great protection there from Evergreens, which was lacking often in the first half. And Chanda with the quick hands. Here's Makala, so effective in the first half. Running across field though. Mangenge sends it wide to Willemse. Morse off to the Giant. 146 kgs worth of him. An illegal attempt at a turnover results in a penalty, and Dalen Morse is in no rush to take this one. Their rolling ball has been so effective, they might be looking to kick this to the corner and roll forward.
Yeah, it has, Paul, you know, but whenever they get into these areas, they give the ball away. This is where you need to be the most focused, when you're in that green zone, in the 22. And again, another kickable penalty. They're going for touch here. The line out is their strength. They've got Giant Mkanda and Mangenge there. And they also are up a player with Kruisfontein's yellow card and the naughty boy's chair. Can't take the line out though. Frustrations.
First one knocking in here.
They've shot themselves in the foot on a number of occasions already in this match, Evergreens.
And well, how's about that last try of the first half? Kruisfontein against the head, winning that scrum, and then immediately linking up Drachunde with Domingo, unselfishly releasing Jose Kettledas. That's the 5 points separating the two sides here, but both sides have scored 2 tries already. This is the part of the game that Evergreens need to get right.
Boy! Sit! Steady! Stay down.
Strong scrum from the multi-shore Evergreens. Oh, wow. That is pure domination.
Yeah, take it quickly and go right, Matala.
He's been running all day. You'd think he'd go for that one. Well, they do take it. It is Makala for the line. What a try from the big number 8. He heard you, Fudge. He heard you loud and clear.
Yeah, Paul, you know what? I mean, he waited for the defensive line to set up. That's the kind of power this player has. Sesona Makala from Gqeberha, the 28-year-old. Went to Victoria Park High School. Has played for the SVT Eagles as well. A professional athlete indeed. And, well, he's been one of the players who's made a huge difference. It starts with a great scrum, must be said. Waterkracht, Trenach and Joseph set it up. Maitala, good low body position, protects the ball, drives the legs, who won't be stopped going up against the backline players there on defense. They get the 7 points and they take the lead. Big game here for the Evergreens.
Well, they've turned around their form from day one against the Rhinos. No tries there. They've got their 3rd try here in their 2nd match on day 2. Impressive off the bench against the Rhinos, but came on and got a yellow card early on, did Makala, and here's how it came about. He needed to give the defense a chance, let them get back into place.
What he does so well, he runs a little bit laterally. Look what it means to the coaches celebrating it. That's what this tournament is all about, a celebration of rugby, of community, and what the sport can do in terms of bringing people together. So many sponsors. It's been a fantastic weekend. It's going to continue being just that, no doubt.
So it was going to be a scrum, And the scrum advantage has swung this way and that, but Evergreens really feel should be exploiting the weight advantage that they have up front, not just in the front row, but in a tight five as well.
No, 100%, but remember, we saw towards the end of that first half, they do get a little bit tired. Waterkrag, that's Julian Trienrecht and Malcolm Joseph, they do get a bit tired towards the end of the half, so they need to attack the scrums now, use it as an advantage. They've got the advantage here now by just 2 points, but you'd have to think that after that last scrum, momentum has swung towards Evergreens. I can't believe I'm saying that, but that's what happens in the cloaks, and the coaches have done really well in informing the force what to do to get the better of Kruisfontein.
Sit!
Scrum feed to Dalen Morse.
Use it! Right.
Making some progress. Away it goes from
Stack it
Morse to
back.
Banda.
Stack it
Banda
back.
goes long with the kick. The wind flighting it downfield, and Heinrich Reiters running it back at them. What an effective run from the number 15. They've got numbers out to the left, and they move it through the hands of Elzane Walters.
Punish over.
Seeking the touch line here. It's been kept in field brilliantly by Kettledus, and back to Walters again. The number 12 with the 24 on his back. Drachmander to clear away. Gets it free. Duane Swartz can't hold on. You heard the call of backwards from our referee, Jafta. Away now, the bouncing ball for Charles Khuro, sends it wide to Reuters again. He's going to take on Mangenje, and he can't hold on.
Yep.
Offside.
You speak about Sesona Maitala, you've got to speak about Mangenje. That's a try-saving tackle there from one of the players who's been really impressive on the pitch. They did have the advantage, so we'll come back for that. But this is good play, clever to swing it out wide. Uses the right kind of pass as well. Heinrich Reiters, though, had Mangenje, the number 5, up against him. Keeps busy in the tackle. That's how he dislodges it.
One out, one.
So they set the rolling ball center field, and Kruisfontein careening towards the line, but brought crashing to ground. Drachmander, he's under way too much pressure there.
And they're coming in at the side, though, with that maul, and another opportunity for Kruisfontein to take back the lead. Remember, they are down a player, so this is quite impressive for them.
Start on the line.
Drachmander does pick it and go, but, well, is
Some more.
Joseph offsides. Another more.
Are they in here? It would seem so. They repeat the dose, and this time they get the goods. Over the line they go through Mitchell Clark in the 4 jersey for Kruisfontein.
Set play. Just turns before contact, sets up that maul, and that's a great play from Mitchell Clark. Good awareness to peel away at the right time with players to support him over the line.
I said Kruisfontein were making progress. They beat Progress just last week in the top 12 back in the Eastern Cape. One of the famous clubs of the Eastern Cape, which is chock-a-block with those. Darren Domingo lines it up and knocks it over.
That's impressive. That's 3 out of 3 as well. We've seen already how conversions will be important here. Both sides, 3 tries each, but this is really clever. Instead of sacking him just before they're able to, Mitchell Clark is the one who peels, but there's always support on him. Never going to stop him there,
Just
under
make
the
sure that
sticks.
the numbers going off.
Remember, they have 14 players on the field, and they are the team to score the try to open the second half. It'll be disappointing for Evergreens.
9 in, who's off?
You can see Banda with the amount of kicking he's already done. You can feel that wind at his back, and he's looking to turn it to their advantage. After that, they just need to execute their lineouts. Banda hangs it high, sends it
Stop,
long as
Banda,
far as
stop.
Swartz
Get out,
backs
get out.
himself to clear his lines, the number 8. They've allowed that to bounce, quite intentionally so by Thomas Lava.
Just a high tackle above the
Yeah,
sternum.
Thomas Lava.
It's a high tackle
Talk
above the
about
sternum.
rolling the dice, and as he catches it, it's a wave of cold shoulders hitting him from Kruisfontein, but you never let the ball bounce. Youngest player on the pitch, in fact, at just 20 years old.
Buddy, can
Their
you just
reserve
move
scrum
along?
half. Oof, that's wrapped up. That's a bear hug, and that is the soldering iron, soldeerbout. And it's for those kind of tackles.
6 men.
Captain Solomon Mangotiti.
Does it mean he melts people? The soldering iron, perhaps?
You've been watching this game, Paul. I think so.
Taken a 2-ball by Kruisfontein. Quite simply so as well. I mean, they've just got to get that right. Set that rolling maul. It's been so devastating. Kruisfontein know that. And now they've run into the wrong channel there. Sent packing Melvin Klaassen.
Stay on. Use it now.
Drachunde, all the same, able to clear the ball from the base of the rack. He finds Sheldon Peterson, 140 kg tight head prop for Kruisfontein. Kerwin Felix of Fire and Rescue in the Eastern Cape, next to Kerry oh my goodness, Mankodidi, carrying into another uncompromising tackle from Evergreens. Drachunde thought he saw a half gap there. It shut very quickly. The 14 men of Kruisfontein carrying it into contact time and again fearlessly.
Use it.
And ticking time off the clock of their player in the sin bin. The chip over the top comes from Domingo. Plenty of contest in the air. Penalty, Evergreens.
It's in the air though. It's just a penalty.
So I think the strategy is clever. Remember, chipping it over the top, the wind will let it hang a little bit. He's got a good chase on it there as well, but does take the player out in the air. Danny Benjamin scored that last try in the first half. Unable to find touch and gets rid of him.
Goodness. Get out of the road. Another bouncing ball, and the kick through comes from Charles Khuda. Khuda, he's made a chance for Drachunde. Drachunde with the foot, and now it's Khuda again. It's good. It's so good. It started with the palm of justice from the right wing. Khuda, he laid the man to waste. And then the grubber through. We'll have to see if he was onside from the final grubber that came from Drachunde. But a try that spanned the length of the field that resulted from a missed touch again from Evergreens. Oh,
look at that. Yeah. Like a jacket he's removing because it's too hot. Khuda, he keeps busy here. Great awareness to just punt it forward again. He is behind Drachunde, and that's a great finish as well from Khuda. Second try of the tournament. Look at how much it means to him. It's a good one. It's a tight fixture. Kruisfontein back on top.
Another former Elephant strikes here today.
15.
This will be a challenging kick for Domingo. What an outlandish try. Domingo gets a good strike on it, held up in the wind. It'll be unsuccessful, dropping short of the post in the end. Just goes to show how strong that wind is. Evergreens missed touch and concede a try.
That's a really good kick from him. He keeps busy here. Gets onto his bike immediately. Great acceleration to beat his opposition. But it all started with a weak tackle. Needed to go low in the initial tackle and finished by Khuda. Man who showed strength, speed, and skill to score his second of the tournament.
What a try. That one will be in contention for try of the tournament, surely come the final reckoning. The change is made for Kruisfontein that sees Jean McLean come on the field. And not John McLean of Die Hard, of course. Now, forward come Evergreens. Off the knock-on from the kickoff. Charging onto it, Anton Smith, captain from their opening match. They set the rack Evergreens, and now they have a chance to strike back. Thomas Lava moves it. Here comes the giant. He sends it wide. Another knock-on from Evergreens. The mistakes are costing them here today. But they still are playing with a smile on their face and joy in their hearts.
Yeah, it's good play. Giant Mkanda gives it nice and early. And for me, that's a good pass. It's accurate. Ronaldo Willemse just unable to take it. He knows it was close. But again, another opportunity lost for the Evergreens. They just haven't been as clinical as Kruisfontein in those areas. Some substitutes coming on. Heinrich McKenzie here. And it'll be Curtly Smith who comes off the pitch. And it's McKenzie coming on for Yankees. Straight into the heat of things. This is where we've seen a very intriguing battle. Scrum time once more.
Point. Sit. Steady. No movement.
Drachunde prepares to feed. Waits for stability.
Hey. Relax. The whistle is gone. Relax. No, I need stable movement. It's not steady. It's not steady, all after set. After set, if you're steady enough, feed it. I'm not going to give you the call when you should feed it.
And you can see, I think the strategy here
Stay
from
down, stay in the fight.
the Evergreens here, especially if you look at Kruisfontein on this close side, it just looks like it's a slight level change from him. He's going a little bit higher here.
Point! Set! Use it.
Good scrum from Kruisfontein, powering into that Evergreens pack.
No more, no more. Ball's out, yep.
Still missing a
No,
number.
offside, ball's out.
And under pressure, Darren Domingo has to clear desperately into the wind. The knock-on comes from Kruisfontein. Evergreens have a chance to counter here. It's still alive. Sent wide by Thomas Lava. Just mistake after mistake from Evergreens.
So I always say, one of the disadvantages of having such a powerful breeze behind you, wind behind you, is that the handling does become a little bit more difficult. We just saw Willemse, it shifts away from you. It's easier playing into the wind because the ball sort of comes into the bread basket, but it's shifting away from your hands. Toibanda, Masitole Banda, they're the flyer, a very good handler of the ball. And difficulty to take it, it's shifting into the basket there for him. He should have been able to take that, but good transitional play to move the ball away from the contact point. Try and find your backline players who have the opposition in front of them and will be able to make the right decisions. But catching the ball in these conditions, when you've got the wind behind you, different challenge to what the Evergreens had in the first half.
What a challenge we have between these two sides. Very well matched. After losing their opening matches on day one, it was Evergreens that lost to the Northern Rhinos, while Kruisfontein lost to Blanco United by 37 points to 28. So both of them taken out of contention for the final on the finals day's play, and of course silverware attached to that final, but also there's a chance to win 15,000 Rand as player of the tournament from Castle Lager, or 50,000 Rand to the winning team. So the silverware and cash waiting for the victors at the end of this weekend.
Yeah, it's everything to play for. Packed stadiums, entertainment on the side of the pitch as well. I mean, that's what this tournament is all about, the community having entertainment on the Easter weekend. And, well, what a joy for all of the fans that have come out, even though Saldanha would be the main side that's supported here. You can see fans from Kruisfontein will be out here, a couple of the clubs in the regions around Saldanha, plus minus 80 to 100 kilometers away. And it's been fantastic. It's just an absolute vibe in the stands. The young and the old, families. It's a family affair on the side of the pitch. Some beer tents as well. Great to see all the sponsors coming in here, Paul Stubbs. And, well, for the players, I think those are the people who enjoy this tournament the most. We speak about Paulus Chosi, who will be coming off the bench for Kruisfontein. 45 years old. In the 27 years he's been playing for the club, where did he want to play? Saldanha Super 8 Easter Festival.
I thought you were going to say fly-off.
Well, we can see, of course, a couple of forwards would have loved to be in that fly-off position, but no easy feat. Look at the fans. Just great songs, singing, clapping, old and the young. It's just a family affair here. And, well, one of my favorite rugby tournaments on the annual calendar.
No question about that at all. And such a wonderful place to spend the weekend. So many places to visit up and down the west coast of South Africa. And the people here love the game of rugby, no question about that. So the local clubs always bring the heat, but they attract clubs from around the country. Kruisfontein hailing from the Eastern Cape, Northern Rhinos coming from Limpopo. So they always have a different cast of teams here at the tournament, which is evidenced by the sides that have won the tournament as well. Roses winning the tournament twice in 2018 and 2022. Saldanha winning their own tournament just the once in 2019. Then, of course, there were the dark years of 2020 and 2021 for reasons we all know and don't care to think back to. And then Safcol were back-to-back champions in 2023 and 24, not in attendance this season. So a chance to crown a new champion. And when we head into the next two matches of today, kicking off early this afternoon at around 1:20, Hamilton's taking on Worcester Villagers, two of the oldest clubs in South Africa. That one is going to be one to keep your eyes on. And Northern Rhinos closing out the day against Blanco United. Northern Rhinos fancied to be one of the sides that might be in contention for that Louis Schiepers trophy, named after the late municipal manager that was a part of the establishment of this tournament that started back in 2018. 6 editions of this tournament, and may there be many more, because this is the perfect place to spend an Easter weekend. Coming up next, Hamilton and Worcester Villagers. Hamilton, I think, 150 years old last year or this year, and Worcester Villagers not too far behind, well over 100 years old as well.
Yeah, they've got some, they recruit some players as well, especially players from these regions, whether you've played at the highest level, whether it's Super Rugby or abroad. And I believe in that Hamilton's team, there's a new addition, Travis Ishmael.
Goodness gracious me. Looking forward to see him play. Always have some famous players in the ranks. Of course, Morgan Newman, who was commentating here on day one of those. He was the Stormer, selected for a Springbok squad, and went on to represent Hamilton's as well, a famous club in Cape Town, right down there in Mully Point by the beach. Not a bad place to play a rugby.
You know all about it, Paul Stouts. Yeah, great to see the camaraderie. There you see soldering iron captain Solomon Mangodidi. That's something I love about this tournament. We don't see too much haji-baji, too much off-the-ball stuff, even though there's so much to play for here. You mentioned the prizes.
Plenty to play for these sides beyond the pride, and more quality medical attention here required and provided at Saldanha Bay. Looks like one of the front rankers from Evergreens may have gone down. Not sure if it is Julian Treunert. We'll find out shortly, but we do wish him the very best as he gets treatment there, as the ambulance leaving the field. Looked to be a lower body injury. Let's hope it's not too bad. We saw a big injury on day one in one of the opening matches. It's very unfortunate. But we're ready to get back underway with our referee, Jefter, the blast on the whistle, and Evergreens have a chance to get back into this match.
Yeah, in fact, well, there we take a look at some of the sides getting ready there. But I think it was, in fact, Malcolm Joseph was off the pitch. Krachwaard and Tienrecht has shifted now to loose head, and the substitutes on there, tight head.
Under huge pressure immediately, Selvin King, the replacement, just 22 years of age. Switch play coming from Pondo. Changes galore for Evergreens. They look to rediscover that energy, which saw them into the lead at the end of the first half. Thomas Lava clearing to Giant Mchanda. He's been bringing the energy all match. Isolated, turnover ball for Kruisfontein. The support not there for Evergreens, and they squander another chance.
I mean, you said it, Paul. The substitutes have to bring the energy. Kruisfontein's got a big crowd here as well. The Evergreens, Multishow, Pakalsdorp, Evergreens, all the way from Pakalsdorp. They don't have the support. They do have the wind behind them as well. Look how difficult it is for Kruisfontein to get out of their 22. Tough time for Darren Domingo. He's been good off the tee. First miss has come into the second half. That's a good carry. Great bravery shown by Dragoner. And problem is not low enough with the clean, and that's fantastic work from Cohen Felix, the number 6 for Kruisfontein.
Evergreens improvising, getting it wide off the stolen ball, but then they drop it, and Dragoner can carry forward. Benjamin getting away, already scored a try today. Reuters gets it on the outside to Kettledas. Kettledas is cooking, he's around the outside. Kettledas boiling over, in for the try.
There's no substitute for speed. Jose Kettledas gets his second of the tournament. What they do really well here, Kruisfontein, it's unselfish, and they give it away quickly on the inside. It's great work from Dragoner, another handling error, but quickly Dragoner straightens up beautifully. It's a good pass to Danny Benjamin, unselfishly shifts it off. That's the pass there that draws in Koibanda, and then it's all pace into the breeze. Doesn't slow him down. Pure pace, Kettledas.
Kruisfontein take control. Another opportunity for a conversion to Darren Domingo.
20.
who packs a punch. Hits it into the wind. Another challenging ask for the number 10. Can't convert. 34-19 to Kruisfontein.
Yeah, so whenever the Evergreens make a mistake, Kruisfontein just turns it on. And what they do is they give it out into the wider channels. They do have pace. They've got the skill to make sure they get those 3 passes quickly to Kettledas, and they won't stop him.
He carries the team in his heart. Over the line he goes for Kruisfontein, and Evergreens have a mountain to climb now. Banda kicks it short, it's perfectly measured and brilliantly taken in. What a restart from Evergreens. Ronaldo Willemse on the run, the right wing. They recycle. One of the changes, crashing it up first. Here's Majuana standing at first receiver. Could not get across field to make the tackle on Kettledas, which resulted in another try for Kruisfontein. And a 25-point gap that separates these sides now. Captain of the last match, Anton Smit on the carry, and they've turned it over again. Kruisfontein pouncing on possession. Dachunde looks over the top to see if there's a kick option available, but that wind will prohibit that option as well. Best to keep ball in hand. They've been successful with that thus far. Benjamin fires back in field. What a pass that was. Heinrich Reuters, Kettledas were going back for the fourth.
That one is clearly forward out of the hands.
Oh, Mr. Ref, let the boys play. They're really starting to sprinkle some amazing skill into things here. Kruisfontein expressing themselves nicely here. Danny Benjamin. How's that? Heinrich Reuters with a good line. And well, this is what the pass is for. Yeah, slightly overrun it. Kettledas too quick. Need to control that pace, mate.
Well, unfortunately, I would know nothing about that. Our pace has always been under control.
Well, you know who to ask now. Jose Kettledas.
Crouch. Point. Set.
The scrum feed to come from Thomas Lava. Even contest up front that time around, and Lava gets it away. Wow, the angle. Well covered. Dachunde is absolutely everywhere, the number 9. He can do it all. Coming off his right wing and trying to make an impact in the second half. Ronaldo Willemse.
Now get out.
Yes, the bravery and the work off the ball, that's impressive for me with their defense. The technique, always going long, stopping the Evergreens players in their tracks.
Here's Giant Mchanda, the tireless captain of his side.
No.
Crossing that gain line effortlessly once more. Kruisfontein hunting the ball on the ground time and again. Pick and go around the corner from Selvin King, the 22-year-old, born and raised in Saldanha.
Leave it, in front.
Lava. That one across the face, nobody able to get their hands on it. And Dachunde dropping shoulders everywhere he goes.
Away!
Francois Cummings brought to ground. In between the 10-meter and the 22 of the opposition, Evergreens reload and go again with Heinrich Mackenzie.
Tackle!
Kruisfontein's defense looking solid right now. Quick ball for Evergreens, creating some chances on the outside. Matala gets it away to Reuters. Reuters rips them up, and they're in, the Evergreens. Just what the doctor ordered.
Yeah, another one of those youngsters. Roscoe Reuters does it here, 24-year-old. Excellent. Played for the Griffins in the Craven Week. That's his first try of the tournament, but blistering pace. Evergreens do so well here. Again, to shift it into the right areas. There's the initial break. That's really good as well. Great skill shown by Lava. And then it's just pure pace. Kettledas did it for Kruisfontein. He's doing it for the Evergreens. Brilliant, Roscoe Reuters.
Evergreens getting 5 on the board, 5 which were made into 7 by Mastole Banda. What a conversion that was as well.
Yeah, vital. It brings them with 8 points. Yes, they still do need to score twice, but a try converted and a penalty gives them the lead.
Yep, that's right.
Driver by profession. The winger for Evergreens, Ronaldo Willemse, down getting some treatment to his ankle. One of those born and raised, or raised rather, in Pekaalsdorp. He was born in George.
Yep.
Not a bad part of the world, that.
I was about to say, Pekaalsdorp, some dignitaries here as well. It's great to see. They must be so proud as well at the work it takes here in terms of teamwork, in fact, off the field with all the sponsors to make sure that this tournament is not just a success, but is entertaining. That's what I love about it.
And attracts, of course, the people from around the country and around the region. But also, what always assists that is Saldanha is going well in the competition and playing in the last match of the day. Then the people of the town come in and populate the stadium and just sing to the highest heavens.
Yeah, some sponsors as well. They'll be very happy with the result. Multi-Shore, Pakaalsdorp, Evergreens getting closer. Will they get their first? All love, isn't it? All love. Yes, ma'am.
Born to be on TV. Up and away. The Multi-Shore Evergreens take it in and take it in well through Anton Smit, a student of law. Huge pressure on Thomas Lava as he gets that one away. He's grown into this game since coming off the bench. Matala has not needed to grow into the game. He has defined the game from the first half into the second now.
Stop.
Banda goes long. Puts us back into that one, uses the wind to his advantage, but Heinrich Reiters, he's already showed how dangerous he can be. Looking to initiate the counter, and he's done well again. He gets it away to his number 8, Dwayne Swartz. The petrol attendant hits the deck. Drachunde gets it away. Zane Walters was there at first receiver. Penalty, Kruisfontein. Shh. 64% of the territory to Evergreens. They really just struggled to capitalize on that advantage. Great kick, all things considered, into the wind by the big number 10, Darren Domingo.
You know, it's not just his kicking that's been impressive. His distribution skills have been really good. The way he releases Danny Benjamin, knows when to get into play. Heinrich Reiters, top-notch from Kruisfontein, and they fly off.
Justin Damons feeds the line out. They set the rolling maul. Can they roll it forward here? Evergreen slow to get numbers behind it. Kruisfontein constructed well, and now they find momentum. In at the back, Justin Damons still moving forward. Kruisfontein brought down short of the line. No advantage coming their way either. Drachunde to clear. He's got forwards in attendance, and he finds them now. Channel 1 ball from Kruisfontein, slowing it down. Drachunde tries to get his hands on it. Oh, almost reaching for the line there. Once again was Danny Benjamin. Living on the edge, Evergreens. They cannot concede again as we're approaching the final 10 minutes of the match.
Away!
8 points between the sides. This is absolutely pivotal.
Short, no more!
Drachunde waits for his chance, but the forwards are taking control right now. In over the ball, Sheldon Peterson, 140 kg prop, tries for the line. They're that close. Drachunde with hands on. Will he snipe himself? He will, but he will not get to the line. Stopped short by Heinrich McKenzie. Slow recycle, but they won't mind that. They'll go, and they'll go again. Kruisfontein keeping it tight for the time being. Drachunde looking for support. He finds it. The ball's been knocked on, and Evergreens live to fight another day.
Mitchell Clark, unlucky there. They had some backline players getting their hands dirty in the trenches. That's good to see. But the multi-shore Pakaalsdorp Evergreens do really well here. Great standard of defensive play, defending their line with pride. Had 10 handling errors. Unfortunately, about 3 or 4 of those have been in the 22, where good opportunity to score tries. But still game on, more than enough time on the clock, and they've been able to relieve themselves of the pressure by getting the ball back here. Still do a lot of work to do. They need to exit, need to get out of this area. 5 meters from their try line. Big scrum here now for Selvin King. And Krachwater,
Steady.
Thomas Lava feeds that scrum. Just as they looked to be wilting under the pressure, the penalty comes away of the green machine.
Yeah, Sheldon Peterson looking to attack this one here, but King does so well to just keep the pressure going. He is going a little bit upright for me there, but he wins the battle. Peterson sort of pulls out of that.
Can we get along?
Every prop will say, come on now, not my fault.
It takes a certain kind to be a prop, not just body shape, but tenacity. Body being folded like origami up front.
You've got to love it. You've got to love it. You've got to love contact. You've got to be comfortable in the most uncomfortable places in rugby. And it's been a solid battle between these two sides, especially the front rowers.
Stay low and stay in the fight.
Courtney Cardlesloe started the opening match for Evergreens, preparing to feed the line out. The son of George.
No contest, play on!
Well executed by Evergreens. That not so well executed, going behind the intended target and having to start from deep is Nkululeko Mahwana.
Away, Purple, no hands, no hands! Behind the line, still inside.
So keeping it in hand for the time being, Evergreens. They've got to get a converted try and more to take the lead in this match. We're in the final 9 minutes. They're in their own 22. Masikole Banda slings it over the top. They're going to try on the outside here through Roscoe Reuters, latest try scorer in this match. Penalty to the green machine. The infringer, Charles Goeda, another one of our try scorers today. Banda going for touch, going long for the kick.
Excellent kick, just outside the 22, puts play into the Kruisfontein 22, well, just about 30 centimeters short. But big opportunity here now. 8 minutes on the clock. They trail by 8 points. They need to make this one count. A lot of pressure on Courtney Cardlesloe. They've also substituted Kragwater as well. Trianicht. It'll be Matthew Lottering who comes on to the pitch for him.
The feed from Courtney Cardlesloe, taken in by Anton Smith, lifted by Giant and Chanda and friends. Another penalty to Evergreens. What's the call here, Fud? You kick for the corner?
Definitely have to kick for the corner. Ill discipline costing Kruisfontein. We're in for a thrilling last 7 minutes or so. Got a new set of props as well. Usually the props will be lifting and they'll be the first line of defense. They set the foundation of the maul. You'll take a look at how hard they'll work now, King and Lottering. Remember, they've also got a heavyweight, Giant and Gand.
Stolen away by Kruisfontein at the crucial time by the captain, Solomon Mankodini. Breaking the hearts of Evergreens yet again, who reach the red zone and turn it over.
Step.
Dwayne Swartz carries, sets the ruck, cleared by Darren Domingo. Double D sends it long but finds double R, Roscoe Reuters, who's receiving it. He moves it to the midfield. Options abound here for Evergreens. Straightening the line! What an offload to Thomas Lava! The floor is lava and he's red hot.
What a try. That's the problem. That's why it's so important to get into these areas. Great finish in the end by the youngster. What is Brendan Lee Pondo here? Who gets through first. Burst of pace, lovely fend, great offload. Make sure it's nice and sharp, straight into the breadbasket. And how's that for a dive?
You feel like no matter what the scoreline, that kind of dive is coming out at a festival like this. The jump, the shimmy, the shake, the dot down. Well, the dot down came first, which was most interesting about that dive.
He's been good, hasn't he, as well?
Masikole Banda with the conversion. It's a 1-point game. Would you have it any other
6
way?
minutes, let's go.
Yeah, good play. Kruisfontein unable to get out of the 22. They weren't able to capitalize on the maul. Great steal from the captain, Mangodidi. But in the end, wonderful counter-attack.
No lift for Anton Smith and Chanda trying to tap it back. No longer do they have Godwin Mangenja in their ranks.
He knocked it.
And it shows what a player he is, Mangenja. Product of the famous Prince Edward High in Zimbabwe, the same school that's given us the likes of Tonderai Shavanga and Kennedy Tsimba.
Yeah, legends. Communication not good enough there. The reaction to each other not good enough. Taking your restart, especially after scoring points when you are down, so vital. So we'll go right down to the wire here now. Can the Evergreens get it back? Can Kruisfontein hold on?
Jaden Drachunde. How good has he been today? The Evergreens have eaten them alive. Cannibalism at scrum time from the green machine. Long kick from Evergreens, and they put themselves in position again.
Scrum again. Substitutes, making that power and fresh legs, making it count. Again, the pendulum of momentum swings both ways when it comes to the scrums. What an impact that part of the game has had on the result.
Massive feed this time comes in from Courtney Carlson, and they execute their line out. Can they set the rolling maul, which has been so devastating today, moving into the midfield, into the 22 as well. They straighten up, they keep it tight, they keep the ball at the back as well. Wonderful construction on this one from the Evergreens. The crowd rising to meet them. Giant Mchanda gets involved again. They need his weight to drive them forward. They still are in connection, shoulder to shoulder. They move for the line, short of the line. They set the ruck now. No penalty advantage waiting for them, but they are right on the brink. Charging at them is Brendan Lee Pondo. Pondo can't get there.
Listen, buddy. Listen, it's playable, so it's yelled up, green ball.
Great communication from referee Jefter. Scrum chance for the Evergreens.
It makes a huge difference when you've got a referee who's as composed as Jefter has been here. Just controlling the game, allow the players to have a good contest, a fair contest at every single stanza or piece of play. We've seen it in the scrums, we've seen it in the lineouts, and we've definitely seen it in the loose.
Let's go.
Evergreens coming so close. Well, will that define this win for potential win, mind you, for Kruisfontein? They've still got their backs against the ropes. He's been excellent, Giant Mchanda, one of the players that for me has put his hand up for man of the match, the way he's led his side, going into the cloaks and the way they've been able to claw themselves back into this game with the wind behind them. He's been excellent.
39 years of age. When you pick yourself up off the ground at that age, your knees go click, click, bang.
Hey, mate, never mind your knees. I mean, he's carrying around, what, 146 kilos in a frame that is 2.04 meters tall, still showing great fitness.
Crouch.
He's always been an athlete. It's great to see he still is. Mchanda.
Point. Set. Steady. Let's go.
Heinrich McKenzie in the 20 jersey on the flank of the scrum there. Present on your screen. The Evergreens break from the back through. Matara. He's been a force of nature in this match. Corkscrews, sets the ruck. Evergreens go again. Cleared away by Lava. Scored that try moments ago. Francois Cummings the next up for the green machine.
It's available.
Lava. Option to the left and right. Matara takes a big hit from Mankodini. They go for the line again. Massive try for the green machine. Brendan Lee Pondo.
Just move away. Listen, gentlemen, just move away. Just move away.
First try of the tournament. What a time for it to come for Brendan Lee Pondo in the Evergreens. It's a good pass from Lava, nice and flat. And Pondo collects it, breadbasket, holds it so tight and gets into a low body position. That's how he gets over the try line. Excellent from the Evergreens.
20 seconds on the kick left then.
.30 seconds to play. Banda puts another 2 on the board. 6 points between the sides. It's not over yet. We have one more restart to close out this match.
What a game. Great composure in this area of the pitch, and wonderful for them to give the forwards a rest. Those channels are closed. Great run from Pondo.
Well, that restart needed more contention from Kruisfontein.
Use that.
Just not directed well enough to get players under the ball. The kick over the top needed to go into touch. It's going to stay in field. It's going to bounce, and bounce favorably for Kruisfontein, presenting them with one final opportunity as the hooter has sounded. Crucial tackle to make here, and what a tackle is made by Lava. Chasing his own kick, he had to make the hit. And now Kruisfontein will have to start from their own 22. They have such a massive overlap here on the blind side, and it begins with Charles Khuda. Khuda brought to ground just before his own 10-meter line. Perfection is what is required from Kruisfontein to make it all the way back upfield. Evergreens need to make their tackles, need to give one last effort, dig deep into those lungs and make sure you don't give up hope when you're on the cross cover. Using the hands to brilliant effect. Josh Kettledus on the outside, the recipient of the final ball. Approaching the halfway line now, one of their shining stars, Jaden Drachwender, clears, popped over the top by Darren Domingo. Oh, improvised and spread to Captain Mankoridi, who gets it wider. Only one defender left here for Evergreens, and that defender is now beaten. Khuta's on the outside, and he gets the offload from Lance Smith. Forward is the call, which will bring about the final whistle. A dramatic finish on day 2, match 2 here at the Saldanha Super 8 Easter Rugby Festival sees Evergreens overcome the odds and a comeback win for the Green Machine. They suffered on day 1, 33 points to 9, but it's Kruisfontein who suffered their second loss of the tournament here today. Another narrow loss. They lost by 11 points in their first match, but it was a close match. This one even closer, won right at the death by that dramatic try from Pondo. And there's